Welcome back to Revealing Biblical Truth. In today's video, we'll be going through the book of 1 Kings chapters 16 through 20. Before we get started, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, share, and turn on post notifications so you can see future videos as soon as I post them. In chapter 16, the word of Yah came to Jehu, the son of Hanani, against Baasha, and said, I have made you a prince over my people Israel, but you have walked after Jeroboam, and made my people to sin, and provoked me to anger. So I will take away your seed and the house and make it like Jeroboam, and they'll be eaten by dogs and fowls. So Baasha died, and Elah his son reigned in his stead. Now in the 26th year, King Asa of Yehudah, Elah began to reign over Israel, and his servant Zimri, the captain of his chariots, conspired against him, while Elah was drunk and killed him. And Elah reigned for only 2 years, and Zimri took over. And as soon as he took the throne, he killed all the house of Baasha. After reigning only 7 days, the people were camped outside Gibeon, a city of the Philistines, but heard what he did. So they made Omri, captain of the host, king over Israel, instead of Zimri. And Omri besieged Tirzah, and Zimri, being there, set the house on fire, and he died in it. But Israel was divided. Half wanted to follow Timni, the son of Ginath, and half followed Omri. But the people who followed Omri prevailed, and Timni died. So Omri reigned for 6 years. But he also wrought evil in the eyes of Yah, even worse than all before him. And Omri died, and Ahab his son reigned in his stead. And he started his reign in the 38th year of Asa of Yehudah. Ahab reigned for 22 years, and he also did evil before Yah. He took a woman named Jezebel to wife, who was the daughter of Ethbaal, king of Zidonia, and worshipped Baal. He even set up an altar in Samaria, and made a grove. And Eliah from Tishbe, which is in the area of Gilead, said to Ahab, As Yah lives, there will not be dew or rain these years. And Yah told him to go east and hide by the Cherith river, by Yarden, and drink of it, and ravens will feed you there. Taking a closer look at this word for ravens in the Hebrew, it is Strong's number H6158, Oreb. It is made up of 3 letters, Ayin, Resh, and Beit. The translators use certain vowel pointings to make it pronounced Oreb, but it could also be Arab, which is interesting. In 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 15, it uses the word Arab with the same 3 Hebrew letters and is talking about actual Arabs from Arabia. So it is possible that Eliyahu was not fed by ravens, but by Arabs in the desert. In any case, he went and drank out of the river, and ravens or Arabs brought him food. But after a while, the river dried up. So Yah said, Go to Zarephath and Zidon, and live there, and a widow will sustain you. So he went, and a widow was gathering sticks, and he said, Please give me some water so I can drink, and also some bread. She was afraid because she didn't have much. But he said, Don't be afraid, but do as I have said. So she did, and he and her house had plenty of food. After some time, her son fell sick, and was on death's bed. So she asked him to help, and he took him and carried him to his bed. And he prayed and stretched out over the child 3 times, and prayed that he would be revived. And Yah heard his voice, and his soul came back into his body, and he was revived. So he carried him down to his mother, and the woman said, I know you are a man of Elohim, and his word is in your mouth. After 3 years, the word of Yah came to Eliah again, and said, Show yourself to Ahab, and I will send rain again. There was a famine in Samaria, and Ahab called Obadiah, who was the governor, who also feared Yah. Before this, Jezebel had cut off the prophets, but Obadiah took 100 of them, and hid 50 in a cave and fed them. So Ahab told Obadiah to find water and grass for the horses. While Obadiah was looking around, he ran into Eliah, and Obadiah bowed to him. He was afraid Ahab was going to kill him, but he said, Don't be afraid, I am here. So Obadiah told Ahab, and Ahab went to meet Eliah. And Ahab said, Are you the one that's troubling Israel? And he said, I haven't, but you have, and your father's house, because you have forsaken the Torah and followed false gods. So gather 450 prophets of Baal to Mount Carmel, and 400 prophets of the groves that eat with Jezebel. And Eliah came to the people and said, How long will you be between two opinions? If Yah be Elohim, follow him, but if Baal, then follow him. Let them give me 2 bulls, and they can choose one for themselves and cut it in pieces. Lay it on the wood and put no fire under it, and I will dress the other one. And you call on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of Yahuwah. And the one who answers by fire, let him be Elohim. So they agreed. So they took their bull and dressed it and called on Baal from morning until noon. But no one answered. And at noon Eliah mocked them and said, Cry louder, maybe he is talking, or on a journey, or sleeping. So they cried louder, and even cut themselves till blood gushed out. They prophesied until evening, and still no one answered. And Eliah said, Come here. And he repaired the altar of Yah, and took the 12 stones according to the tribes, and built an altar, and made a trench around it, cut the bull, and laid it on the wood, and had his servants pour 4 barrels of water on it and the wood. Then he had them drench it for a second time, and a third time, and the trench also. Then when evening came, Eliah said, Let it be known today that Yahweh is Elohim, and I have done these things at his word. Hear me, Yahweh, that these people may know that you are Yahweh Elohim. Then fire fell from Yah, and consumed the sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and even the water in the trench. So when the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and said, Yahweh is Elohim. And Eliah said, Take the prophets of Baal, and they took them by the river Kishon, and Eliah killed them there. And Eliah told Ahab to get up and eat and drink, because there is rain now. So Eliah went to the top of the mountain again, and told his servant to look around, and the servant didn't see anything. But he said, Look 7 more times. And on the 7th time he saw a cloud. So the sky began to be dark with the clouds and wind, and it rained heavily. And Ahab went to Jezreel, and told Jezebel, Eliah, how he did all these things and slew the prophets. And so she sent a messenger to Eliah, saying, Let the gods do to me what you did to the prophets, if I don't kill you by tomorrow. So he left and went to Beersheba, and went a day's journey into the desert, and sat under a juniper tree, and wanted to die. But as he lay there and slept, an angel touched him, and said, Arise and eat. And he saw a baked cake and a pitcher of water, so he ate and drank and slept again. And the angel came back a second time, and he touched him, and said, Because the journey is great, you should eat. And he ate again, and went there to Mount Horeb, and was there for 40 days and 40 nights. And he found a cave and slept there. And Yah came to him and said, What are you doing here? And he said, I've been jealous for Yahuwah Sebaot, and Israel has forsaken your covenant and slain your prophets, and I'm the only one left, and they're trying to kill me too. And Yah said, Go stand on the mountain before Yah, and a strong wind broke the rocks off the mountains as he passed by, and an earthquake also. And after that a fire, but he was not in any of them. But Eliah heard a still small voice, and when he covered his face, and left toward the cave. And Yah said, Go back to Damascus, and when you come here, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria, and anoint Jehu son of Nimshi king over Israel, and Elisha son of Shaphat to be a prophet. And there were 7,000 men in Israel that have not bowed down to Baal. So he left, and found Elisha plowing the field. And Elisha asked to say, Bye to his parents, and then follow him. But Eliah said, Go back. But Elisha went home and made food of the oxen, then rose again and followed Eliah. In chapter 20, King Ben-Hadad of Syria fought against Samaria with 32 kings, horses, and chariots. He sent messengers to the king, saying, Save your gold and your silver and your wives and your children, because they are mine. And Ahab surrendered and said, I am yours, and everything that I have is yours. So Ben-Hadad again said, Tomorrow I'll send my servants to come, and they will search throughout all your homes, and whatever we like we're going to take." So Ahab called the elders and told them what happened, and they said, "Don't listen to him or give him anything." So he sent messengers back to Ben-Hadad and said, "You can't have my silver and gold and wives and children, and if you're not going to go through our homes." And Ben-Hadad said, "Our gods told me to do this, and I will take whatever I want." And he set his soldiers in array against Samaria, and a prophet came to Ahab and said, "I will deliver them into your hand." And Israel had 232 princes and 7,000 people. And the servants of Ben-Hadad had men come out of Samaria. And Ben-Hadad said, "Whatever their motive is, take them all alive." But Samaria prevailed and killed many Syrians, and Ben-Hadad fled on horse. Then the prophet came to Israel again and said to Ahab, "Strengthen yourself, because the next year at this time he will come back and attack again." Foolishly, the servants of Ben-Hadad said, "Their gods are gods of the hills, so if we fight them in the plain, we will be stronger, and we will win." So Ben-Hadad listened to them and raised up an army. So it came to pass that Ben-Hadad returned the very next year to fight Israel. But there was a man that came from Elohim and told Ahab about their plan to fight in the valleys. So Ahab hatched a plan to put his army out, and Israel slew 100,000 footmen of Syria in one day. The rest fled to Aphek, but a wall fell on 27,000 of them, and Ben-Hadad fled again to the inner room. His servants said, "The kings of Israel are merciful, so let's put on sackcloth and go out to them, and maybe they will save our lives." So they went out, and Ben-Hadad said, "The cities of my father that my father took from your father I will restore, and you can make roads to Damascus." So Ahab said, "I will make this covenant with you," and sent him away. So a man from the prophets said to his neighbor, "Smite me," but he refused. So the man said, "Because you didn't obey Yah, as soon as you leave, a lion will kill you." And as soon as he left, a lion did kill him. Then he found another man and said, "Smite me." And the other man did, and he was wounded. So he then disguised himself with ashes and waited for Ahab. And as the king passed by, he cried to him, "I went to battle, and a man brought someone to me and told me to watch him. And if he goes missing, I will kill you, or else pay a talent of silver." But being busy, he got lost. Then Ahab wiped off his ashes and knew he was a prophet. And the prophet said, "Because you let a man go who you were supposed to kill, your life will go for his, and your people for his people." It is implied here that he was supposed to kill Ben-Hadad, but he let him go so he would be killed instead, and his people also. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and until next time, Shalom.